I'll remind Kevin where he comes from.
Okay, that sounds terrific.
You used foul language in front of a lady.
No, Daddy, no!
No,
I have words today. Man, do I have words today. Goodness gracious. Hello. What is up? For those of you who are here, you will probably notice that something is missing. Yeah, the beard is gone. We're only a month away until it's going to start getting warm again. I do not need it. So the chin strap is back. So, Dusort renews his membership, says, lure 2 Helldivers into the stream's chat. Please don't call a 500 kilogram on my position. No promises. But today we got some stuff to talk about. And I apparently need to reiterate some things, because I'm going to just say this right now. What most of my day is comprised of is work. I'm working on stuff all day. I get up whenever I get up. I'm either editing the podcast, I'm working on writing, I'm working on editing a comic book, or I'm working on something else that's oriented to my comic book business. You know, I got shit going on all the time. I cannot give everybody my attention. I can't do it. I'm a 40-year-old man. I got shit to do. You know, I run a YouTube channel, which is a business. I run another business on top of that. I got stuff, you know. I am at a point where all work and no play sometimes makes Micah a dull boy, which is whenever I get the chance to fire up Space Marine 2 for even 20 minutes, I take it, you know. So, I'm going to say this right now. If you go out of your way to try to get my attention, you might not like what you get. Because if you waste my motherfucking time, I will make sure as much of the internet as I can, you know, influence knows you're an asshole. Alright? I want that to be clear. And because I am so busy, I do not go out of my way to tell anyone to do anything, unless they're working for me. Which limits it down to basically artists that work for me on my comic book stuff and Shirt Dude. That's it. That's all who works for me. That's it. So, it ain't nothing against anybody in the audience. I love y'all. I love all of you. I go out of my way to say it as much as I can. You guys are the reason I get to do this for a living. You guys give memberships and super chats and watch the videos and share them and stuff like that, which, by the way, I've noticed shares have been going up. So thank you all for that. That's awesome. In fact, one thing, if you ever see one of my videos come up when you're on your mobile app, there is a hype button that actually helps with discoverability. You hit that, that video will get boosted. So thank you so much, and for those of you out there who can do that, I would greatly appreciate it. Not so much worried about the streams right now, but it's the videos that Shirt Dude and I get a lot of work on. Those are the ones I really want to get boosted up. But anyway, so this all started with a shirt, one that I'm actually wearing right now. I will move the camera down a little bit so you can see it. This shit is so cursed. I saw this, I'm like, I need it. I need it. It's terrible. I am tempted. I don't know if I'm gonna do this. I am tempted to, if I ever get the chance to meet Vic Mignogna, because, I know somebody who knows Vic. If I ever get the chance to meet him in person, I might wear this and take a photo with him and just see what his expression is. Because he's probably going to look at me like, Micah, what the heck are you thinking? But yeah. So, isn't that one girl feeling the anime the 70s? No. This is a Full Metal Alchemist reference. I'm not going to spoil it. It's one of the most fucked up episodes in that anime. And the FMA actually deals with a lot of mature themes for what's effectively a shonen, you know. So, but this shirt is tasteless. But that's what I love about it. It's, you know, I love, you know, stuff like that. I mean, if you go to merch plug real quick, if you go to the Fourth Wall store that I have, link in the description. Oh, hold on, I gotta log in. Hold on. I'm not gonna... Don't want to show people what my login is. But, if you go to the Fourth Wall store, why is it not? There we go. You go to the store. We have a ridiculously cursed t-shirt. That's just as bad. Thank you, by the way, to Damos for doing this art for me. I paid him, but still, it's a pretty good looking burger. But fucking Bernard's Burgers, so good it'll make you cry like a baby. Established 8/25/1989, which for those who don't know, that is the day that the final episode of or the final OVA of 0080 came out. So yeah, I love cursed shirts like this, dude. I love stuff like this. It makes me laugh. But regardless, I took this photo. So this is where this all starts. I took this photo of when I got this shirt in yesterday. And I said I might be going to hell for buying this shirt. This is supposed to be offensive. Either shirt, it's only offensive if you happen to be sensitive. Personally, I tend to laugh at things like this. I think it's funny. But some people like we're kind of fucked up by these episodes, so I can understand with why some people would be like, "Oh, fuck you, dude." But it's fine. It's all fun and games. But anyway, as I was saying, so I posted this. This is the shirt sitting on my couch, and I said I might be going to hell for buying this shirt, and the responses were hilarious. Let's see here. Oh yes, everyone's gonna want to sock you. Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood review foreshadowing. It is not. I didn't know what it was at first, but with a closer look, yeah, I see what you mean. Right in the feels. The origin of Korone and Fuamoko. Fusion Ha. Yes, looks like an express ticket too. That's a good one. Got my buddy that sticker for his birthday. Lamau, I had worn that shirt to meet the actors thing and was told by Kiba that it's cursed. This one's really good. The cow says moo. The cat says meow. The duck says quack. The dog says Edward. Let's see here. Nah, bruh, I wanted one, couldn't find one. You rock that shirt, you rock it hard, or maybe I'll come and take it. Seen that episode's messed up. First anime shirt I'd wear in public. Decades old bit. Everyone who's seen heard of FMA have already seen, but yeah, it's called a joke, dude. Don't take it so serious. Bro, you might make the endangered species list if you would get this shirt. little late for that. Classic Lamau. You kind of get the drift, right? So, but this is what pissed me off. This is why I'm a bit fired up. Also, this one was funny. I hope you stub your toe today. Which I did not. I did not stub my toe yesterday or today. So I have dashed your hopes, good sir. Some dude named Wolf Saber says, I ran into a problem with what looks like one of your fans. Now, I'm gonna just say this. Like, this is why I said the whole thing about me being busy at the beginning. Like, if I'm looking and I'm reading comments, I'm just looking to see if there's something I can laugh at, or if just kind of get a vibe on where the community's at with a video or something. This was just seeing because I was curious what everybody's responses to this fucking shirt were gonna be, and obviously they were hilarious. But some dude brings this up, and I say conversations with people you don't want to talk to are always optional. I'm not your daddy. Solve your own problems. And by the way, this is something that I feel needs saying a lot. In the big 2026, you do not have to have a conversation you don't want to have unless it's like with law enforcement or something. If you don't want to talk to somebody, you don't have to talk to them. That's always been the case about being an adult. If you don't want to have a conversation with somebody, you don't have to have that conversation. You know, or unless like it's your job to have it. you know? And even then, you can quit your job. But the fact of the matter is that you don't have to have conversations with people if you don't want to have conversations with them, you know? And one thing that legitimately bothers me is when people go out of their way to try to get me to respond to something that I don't need to respond to. Or they go out of their way to get my attention when I'm just doing whatever. Acting like I'm in charge of shit. Well, alright, if you want a reminder of what happens when I get pissed off, if you want to get cooked, I'll cook you. And I don't know, some of you might have seen on X yesterday, I cooked half the fucking internet. You know, like, it was bad. Leo Wan's in the chat. He can tell you, like, I took the whole Resident Evil 5 as racist thing, and I ripped that shit to pieces. And then when stupid goofs from fucking Germany kept trying to push the fucking narrative, I ripped them apart. Because I don't play those games. People seem to really like it when I said, I told one German kid, I'm like, 3 things. It was something like, God, I gotta look it up now. This is gonna bother me. I was just insulting everybody. Like, I was being mean as fuck yesterday. By the way, so I'm just gonna say this right now. I'm a lot of things. I'm fat, I'm goofy, I'm old, all this other stuff. What I'm not is super ugly. So when you take a photo of my picture and say, if you laugh, you go to hell, and then my response says handsome fella, and I get more likes than you, but you got more views than me, that says something. But like, I got to call Ta-Nehisi Coates a retard. Where was it? Made fun of a Nick Fuentes fan, as I do. This one I thought was good. Why are you followed by Asura's Wrath? I said we met at anger management classes. Where is it? Oh, this one people really liked. So some stupid German says something about, I ain't reading all that, but I'll assume it's a lot of words to cope about racism. And I said, short version, you're retarded, you don't know what racism is, and I fucked your mother. Also, you're German. Don't lecture people about racism when your nation's top export in the 40s was dead Jews. So, I was cooking people left and right. So if that's the energy you want from me, you'll get it if you're not careful. When was that photo taken? I feel like you've gotten a lot older, especially with the glasses. Right at the start of the pandemic. And I'm not going to lie, the pandemic aged me big time. I had red hair on my chin and stuff like that. I've gone gray. Like, the hair on the sides of my head is gray, and then I've gone gray on my beard too. You know, I'm losing the color in my hair, which I'm perfectly fine with. It's, if I get to be a silver fox, I'm cool with it. It's this patchy shit that annoys me. But anyway, so this dude says, I'm not your daddy, solve your own problems. He goes, can't when they block me. Not, bitch, that's a solution. If they blocked you so that they can't keep having a conversation with you, dude, I don't fucking care then. You know, he cites you as a source for his opinions. So, argue with the point he's making. I can't, I'm not making arguments for people. That's not what I do. There's no fucking money in that. What the fuck is wrong with you? I made a post about what happened. I'm like, I don't fucking care. Solve your own problems. And this is where you cross a line. So flag you for encouraging negative behavior. You are cool with that. When did I do that? This little fucking idiot Wolf Saber. When did I encourage shit in this conversation that I don't want to have with you? No, nowhere. I said solve your own problems. I don't care about fucking internet arguments. I'm going to say this right now, because clearly this dude's dad did not beat him enough. No one gives a shit about internet arguments. No one fucking cares. Alright? Nobody cares. If you have a disagreement with somebody about Star Wars, Warhammer, Gundam, fucking cookbooks, I don't fucking care. Nobody cares. You got your feelings hurt. Fucking get over it. Nobody fucking cares. What's your view on Jurassic Park? Book's better than the movie. Don't distract me. But nobody fucking cares about this shit. Handle it like the business was handled when he blocked you. If he does not want to have a conversation with you, he does not owe you that. And then you're going to sit here and do this. I'm going to say this right now. I do not like people who fuck with my business. It's one thing to disagree with me. Hell, if you threaten to kill me, I'm going to laugh at you because you're not going to do it. What crosses a line for me is when you try to take food off my fucking table. Because I don't know if you've noticed, I'm quite a portly gentleman. I like my food on my table. I like soda whenever I can indulge. You know? And you're going to try to take that away from me. You're going to try to take that away from me. Now, one thing I told him is that threatening to flag people is against YouTube terms of service. And I called him a psycho, because he is. I didn't encourage anything, but clearly you want daddy's attention, and you're not going to like what comes next. So let's see the supposed death threat he got. Alright? So, it says here, like, this user blocked me when I gave a take they didn't like. Okay, well let's look at the screenshots. Because if I click on them, they're not expanding. That tells me you screenshotted stuff that wasn't completely in context, or there's something you don't want me to see if you're trying to get my attention. You need to watch Anger Management. I own the DVD to it. But let's look at this. Okay, I'm apparently looking for death threats. Okay? There's no death threat here. There's no death threat here. You're talking about robots. There's no death threat here. You're talking about robots. And then you have a completely cut off screen. There's nothing here. I just see it says OR, does making fun of a movie warrant death threats? And like clearly somebody's calling somebody a tourist. Like, where's the threat? Dummy? Where's the fucking threat? And considering, by the way, given the fact that his username does not end with OR, or his username does end with OR and yours does not, and he's saying, does making fun of a movie warrant death threats, question mark, as in someone is threatening him, makes me think that you're the one who did it. This is what I mean by you don't want daddy's attention. You don't want me to look at things. Because if I look at them, I will make sure people see it too. And I will call you an idiot in front of the internet, and I will show people that you're being an idiot. This is something that I cannot stand with people on the internet. So, all this fucking idiot just earned is a stream with me making fun of him, calling him an idiot, and then just doing this. I just blocked him. I don't want to have a conversation with you either. Because you're a fucking crazy person. You got daddy's attention, and you're probably not going to be too fond of it. Well, fucking suffer. I don't care. Because here's the thing. I've seen Crisinator around. I've seen him in the chat along with a lot of other people. You know, and from what I understand, he did like a troll video to fuck with Seed fans. And then they got pissed off and wanted to kill him. Something that I'm familiar with. Because Seed fans are fucking unhinged. I mean, half of them are on Twitter. They have 20 genders and 40 sexualities. Like, clearly there's something not quite right up here. You know? Oh, fuck. That was a good neck pop. So, I'm going to say this right now, dude. Like, you do not need to be bringing me up and going out of your way to get my attention. And then when I look at it, all of a sudden, I see that you're the one who's full of shit and you probably threatened him. Fucking psycho. So, if anybody finds that guy doing stuff like that, you know what to do. I always see content creators saying someone's rage bait failed, even though the content creator get emotional, which means the rage bait worked. Well, I'll freely admit, if that's what he was going for, then he got me. But here's the other thing. I'm making money off of this. I just had somebody renew their membership. Brain renews his. It says, those screenshots are showing his Gawker University bachelor's degree. And I thought my station in life was quite low. Damn, dude. And that is one of the things that admittedly does get my goat. And I think that you cross a line with any content creator when you say you're trying to take food off their table. Like, that's fucked up. That's absolutely fucked up. Because, like, what do you gain with that? Let's say that this channel was gone tomorrow. Because this dude reporting me. What did he gain from it? Like, one guy said he didn't want to deal with his bullshit and he could handle it himself? Now he's lost his job? What did you gain there? How did the world get better from that? It didn't. It makes you a piece of shit. Gabe the Ginger throws in a buck. Thank you, Gabe. Like, it's something that just... It legitimately fucks with me. I'm like, what are you doing? You know? How often do you block people, or rather, do you have a rough number off the top of your head? No clue, dude. Dude, I have been on the internet for... God... I first started publishing work for Blistered Thumbs in like 2010. So I've been on the internet for 16 years. You know, like, and I will freely admit, if I don't want to talk to somebody, I just block them. Like, if I don't feel I need to have a conversation with you, then that's what I will do. Because here's the thing. You don't owe anybody your time unless they are paying you for your time. You know, or there's somebody that you deeply care about. You know, like, I will give my friends my time. I will give my family my time. You know, free of charge. If people need like an editing consultation or a writing consultation or something like that, well, they got to pay for it. If somebody wants me to write a script for them, they got to pay for it. You know, like, time is money. And I know that makes me sound like a greedy Jew, which, I mean, I am Jew. I am a Jew, so there's, like, they're half right. You know, the fact of the matter is that that's the reality of adult life. Everybody's time is limited, you know? And as I'm getting older, that becomes more and more obvious. As I'm in the second half of my life, man. You know? Like, I'm just somebody that I don't like to have my time wasted. If I have me time, I want to have fun with it. If I'm on a stream, I want to make some money. You know, if I want to do content, I want to make some money off of it. And I do. You know, it pays for everything. So when it comes right down to it, I cannot stand it whenever people act like they're going to try to take your livelihood away. That is unhinged behavior. For me saying handle your own fucking problems. Like, that's literally, if he walked, like, imagine walking up to somebody on the street and saying, I got into an argument with this guy that's completely unrelated to you. And then they say, well, I'm gonna, like, well, go handle it yourself. Well, the guy walked away from me. Well, then the problem's solved. What do you, I got nothing to do with it. And then he says, I'm gonna call the cops on you. You'd be pretty pissed off. You know? Since you did see Full Metal Alchemist as your favorite character, oh, it's the Elric brothers, yeah, for sure. I think that's everybody's favorite character. Unless it's like, well, Roy Mustang. A lot of people really like Roy Mustang. Or they like Lust because, you know, big tits. But anyway, it's something that legitimately gets my goat. Because it's like, I'm not doing anything to fuck with you. I don't go out of my way to fuck with people. I just don't. If I walk away from somebody, I walk away from them. Goodness gracious. Since the first Gundam vs. Warhammer video has 40k part focused on the Imperium, does it mean future videos focus on Xenos and Chaos against mobile suits? Probably not going to be a sequel to that one, to be honest with you. If I do more pernicious power scaling stuff, it'll probably be other franchises. Me just giving my opinion on it. The Gundam one I just wanted to do because I had no other plans at the moment. So, I wasn't expecting there to... The fact that it did even halfway okay shocked the shit out of me, you know? Brain says, see, here's the thing, I'm not a fan of lust, I'm straight, I'm the one who's supposed to impale, I'll see myself out. Wait, you're actually Jewish? Ethnically. Religiously, I'm a Christian. But ethnically, I am Jewish. My birth mother was Jewish. I don't watch any anime. Any first suggestions? The original Mobile Suit Gundam. That'll be the one thing that I always recommend. Either that or Gundam Wing. Because my thing is mecha. You know, I'm big on real robot stories. So that's the thing that I'll always recommend to people. If you're into more mature stories, Hellsing would probably be the first thing I recommend. If you're looking for just dudes fighting in space, Dragon Ball Z. So, anyway, because by the way, this isn't the first time that something like this has happened to me. You guys want to see the dumbest one? Because a lot of you guys are new. You don't know the old Micah lore. But now that I've mentioned it, I know Brain is probably going, oh, I know exactly who he's talking about. And I haven't mentioned this guy in a while. I'm waiting to see if Brain's reaction. assuming that he's typing it. Do I have any good recipes for bagels and latkes? Well, latkes aren't that hard to make. It's just shredded onion and potato. The bagels I've never made from scratch. I've always wanted to, because I can make bread, but bagels are unique. Do you like post-apocalyptic anime like Future Boy or Conan? I'm not familiar with Future Boy. Post-apocalyptic, I'm a big fan of A Fist of the North Star. Brain is surprisingly not bringing it up. Oh, missed that because it's Steam trailer autoplay. I said, you know, one particular Sperg that I've dealt with that has recently been bringing me up again. And we're going to talk about that too. Probably the biggest Sperg I've ever had to deal with. Because, Lord Almighty, we are dealing with a special brand of crazy with this one. Nope. Starts with an L, brain. But oh, he's thinking of Bon Voyage. That dude was a nut job. But I don't think he's even around the internet anymore. And if he is, I don't really care. That's deep. That's a deep cut. God, those are some he's mentioning some Spergs in the chat I haven't thought of in a while. Yep, Will Geary got it. Good old Liam. So, for those who don't know, Liam is a guy named Liam Gray, who is somebody that I used to hang out with way back in the day. Another guy who also makes comic books. And Liam is a guy from Australia who people had been wanting me to chat with for a while. I had a discussion with him about comic books and culture war stuff and da-da-da-da-da. Long time ago. And I'm like, you know what? He's an alright guy. He's a little weird, but, you know, I've dealt with weird people on the internet before. No big deal. So I hung out with him. We became friends. And as time went on, this dude in the brain just started fucking losing it. I've done a whole video on him before and why I'd gotten away from him. And there's a point where I am basically card wrangling this guy all the fucking time. Because I used to be very involved in a group that some people, if you're comic book oriented, will know of, called Comicsgate. I was one of the first content creators to do content around the shitty shape that the comic book industry is in. And, you know, it was me and, Richard C. Meyer, your boy Zach, and a few other people who, had started, you know, making a stink on the internet about it. And then, like, people within the comic book industry started responding to what was going on. And one of the people that, was Ethan Van Sciver. He and I have been, you know, acquaintances for the better part of a decade. And around that time, you know, I was very active within that community. Nowadays, not so much. I'm not gonna like sit there and act like I'm some sort of a bigwig or something like that. But you know, it's just one of those things where I wasn't really focused on the community as much as I was building my own. Because I'm of the opinion that I wanted to build my own table, if that makes any sense. I didn't want to be I didn't want to be too restricted on something. I wanted to go out and make my audience bigger, which I obviously have. Thoughts on the criticism of EVS having multiple comic book projects that are still unfinished? I hope he gets them done, because I like Ethan's work. I'm not gonna... If you're looking for me to talk shit about Ethan, you're barking up the wrong tree. I understand people are upset with him, and I'm also not gonna sit here and, defend having a campaign that's behind. I have more than one. I'm just now getting to fulfill them because of a whole complication I've had to deal with. I cannot sit here with any sort of credibility and criticize someone for being late on their Indiegogo projects. I cannot do it. I'm also not going to insult Ethan either, simply because of the fact that dude went out of his way more than once to help me and help me learn how to make comic books. I owe him that. I will disagree with him on things, but I will not go out of my way to, get, start insulting him or things like that. So if you're looking for that, you're barking up the wrong tree. But, at the end of the day, the same thing that is true with Ethan is true with me, is true with any comic book creator that does stuff on Indiegogo. There is an expectation for a final product. We owe our audience that, but I've also known Ethan long enough to know he knows that. So I'm not gonna sit here and be a hypocrite and be an asshole about him being late on stuff. So am I. It's the whole they're speck of wood in one eye, plank in the other. That Wolf Idiot is making community posts about you on his channel. It's pathetically hilarious. Let him stew. Let him go crazy. Been to Liam's stream before at first, was honored as time went on. I decided to leave the whole comics gate because I felt like I was stuck in a culture war rat race. Well, here's the thing. You can still believe in the principles and, just live your own life. You're an adult, approach it however you want. But anyway, Liam though was probably the worst that I have ever had to deal with. Because when I parted ways from him, it was because and I have a whole hour-long video that breaks this down. There was this whole thing where he wanted to deceive his own backers and by extension mine, because I had gone way out of my way to help him promote his book to my own audience, which was substantially larger than his, and still is. But it always, the parting left more of a bad taste in Liam's mouth than it did mine. I moved on, I started doing my own thing, and obviously I've had success with it over the last however many years. Liam really hasn't. He's relied quite a bit on the charity of other people. And when it comes right down to it, me leaving and getting away from him is something that has stung him for a long time. The worst it got, and this is why I know how to kind of deal with people like this, this was the worst it ever got. So I know I'm torturing you all with bright mode. I'm a monster, I know. He sends me this fucking email that says private and confidential. And look at the shit that he says in this. I will require the following: a public apology for accusing me of neglecting my daughter, something I didn't do. Surrender of any and all information involving yourself, Lidl, or anyone else in your employ during the July 16th report to Child Services. I never called Child Services. What the fuck are you talking about? As well as an immediate stop for another human being, my friend Lidl, claiming I neglected to do harm to my child. Bitch, email her. Surrender any and all information you have regarding the efforts to have my animals seized. I have nothing to do with that. A public apology for intentional misinformation you've spread regarding the payment of my artists, something I also didn't do. I went out of my way to defend the fact that he paid his artists. Public apology from me and Lidl for defaming me, claiming I live in a trailer park, something I never did. public apology for Lidl for falsely, can't even spell falsely, Jesus, claiming I sexually assaulted her. I don't think she ever said that. You said that Yellow Flash raped her. Reimbursement for the funds totaling $5,000 USD sent to you by myself. This dude owes me $1,000 in unpaid comic book labor. So that payment ain't fucking coming, Liam. Reimbursement of the funds sent to Lidl for unfinished work in a public statement. Dude, she quit because you're a shitty boss. And you were causing fights with people that didn't need to be caused. Removal from... This one, number 8, is the only one that I actually gave him. Because, to be honest with you, I do not have the right to have that reference to Xenotype. So if he asks me to remove it, then I have to. Yeah, 2345. This is same Liam. Refund or shipment of the products I purchased for your last campaign. I gave him his stuff. This isn't recent anime guy. I'm giving people the deep lore. Immediate cease in the ongoing defamation campaign, including but not limited to, and he says the same stuff that supposedly I said, which I never said. Removal of unwanted, unauthorized, and private photos of me, my family, or home from any of your social media profiles. So remove nothing. Okay. And a private apology for your complete lack of empathy. Like, what the fuck? Like, this is why it gets crazy. And this is the sort of thing that I'm talking about, where people will threaten to fuck with your way of living. If I don't receive the above by September 20th, I will be including both you in the ongoing criminal case investigation, marking your channel for review by the YouTube Partner Program, and reporting you to Indiegogo for fraud. None of which happened, by the way. Like, first off, there was never a criminal investigation. Ever. For people being mean to you on the internet. You never marked my channel for review by the YouTube Partner Program, and if you did, they probably said stop being an asshole. And reporting me to Indiegogo for fraud. Like, I could do the same thing for Boy Island, dude. Like, and the reason I'm bringing this up, because it's been a minute, is he was basically threatening to sue me. Now, obviously, because this channel is still here. Liam bitched out he never sued anybody. Especially me. Which told me that there's no lawyer. This guy doesn't have a fucking lawyer. But the reason I'm bringing this up, and I'm bringing up the old lore, is Liam has been bringing me up again. And bringing me up in conversations where he's blaming his wife for his daughter getting hurt. Which, by the way, I'm very sorry that, like, there was an accident where his daughter, I think, slipped and fell and got a cut, like, under her chin or something like that, which is it's really unfortunate. You know, like, nobody likes seeing kids get hurt. But at the same time, it is going to happen. And look, I have my best friends, cousins, even my father has told me that one thing that is true about being an adult, especially whenever it is you're a parent, is you're scared every single fucking day that something bad's going to happen to your kid. And you should be. Not that I'm threatening the guy, just, you should be, because that means you love him. You know, if you're not scared for what might happen to him, then that's a lack of caring about, you know, your own flesh and blood, which would be fucked up. Liam obviously cares about his family quite a bit. It's unfortunate that it happened, dude, but it's not like your wife did it to her. You know, it happens. Every kid gets hurt, and it sucks. But it is a reality of parenting that you will see your child get hurt. Because they're going to slip on things. Because they're going to fall from places. They're going to run into coffee tables on accident. I know I did. I mean, hell, all the stuff, like, I can still remember some of the falls I took and the things that I ran into when I was a kid and I wasn't paying attention. You know? And I'm in my 40s now. Like, it's a regular thing. But you're bringing me up in conversations where you're bitching about your wife, and for something that honestly you shouldn't have been bitching about on the internet. You're bringing me up. You're bringing me up in all these other fucking conversations. And it's like, Liam, because I know he's going to watch this. Liam, you need to understand something, buddy. I do not have anything to do with what's going on in your life. I don't. Like, am I friendly with some people who don't like you? Yes, that is true. I'm friendly with Lidl. She's been an internet friend of mine for a long time. She's awesome. I love Lidl to death. Actually, now that I think about it, that might be there are people that I'm friendly with that you fucked relationships up with, and I didn't fuck up my relationships with them. So in that case, there's probably other people as well. But I don't go out of my way to fuck with you. But I'm bringing up one of your most embarrassing moments. And the fact that, if I remember right, your buddy Vinny Tartamella, when you claimed that you were going to kill yourself over the stream that resulted from that email over on EVS's channel, I remember your buddy Vinny blaming me and John Malin and EVS and Anna, that Star Wars girl, for you threatening to kill yourself, which would have left your daughter an orphan and your wife a widow. I didn't comment on that at the time. I'm going to call it right now. If you had gone through it, dude, you're a coward. And apparently recently he was doing something similar, in which case you're a coward. The expectation for you, Liam, is to be there for your wife and to be there for your daughter, no matter what happens. And if you're looking for the easiest way out, yeah, you're a coward. And if you're blaming everybody else for your fucking problems, you're a coward. You're never going to fight nobody or anything like that. You're always talking like, oh, I'm going to fight this guy. You're not fighting anybody. This guy tried to say that he snapped the neck of a fucking kangaroo. Liam, you're 5'3". Like, maybe a chicken. I could see you doing it to a chicken. But that's not difficult. It's not hard to break the bones of a chicken. Like, when it comes right down to it, don't be bringing me up. I got nothing to do with you. I want nothing to do with you. I don't need you for anything. And your consistent obsession with a bunch of shit that happened years ago, where has it gotten you? I'll show you where it's gotten you. Let's actually bring it up real quick. There we go. Let's do this. God damn it. There. His YouTube channel is called Unintelligent Design. Nobody go fuck with him, by the way. Do not fuck with him. I'm fucking with him enough just by doing this. We don't need to rub salt in the wound. Because he's about to see something that is going to be very indicative of something. Right here. We compare my YouTube channel to yours, Liam. This is me working. A couple of years ago, I had 20,000 subscribers. You had 1.2K. I put in the work at being better at content creation. I put in the work to grow my audience because I knew that I couldn't and I shouldn't just act as if EVS is going to bail me out of everything. And look what happened. We saw growth. 20K, all the way up to, at the end of beginning of 2025, I was just a shade under 27,000. I think this right here, his little bump in subscribers came, he was on LolCal Live once. And some people subscribed to him. And you see the comparison of statistics at the top. Subscribers, 48,000, 12,000. Views, 6.1 million. Views, 100,000. And then 333, he's had 333 videos. This is just what's public. I've got 424. Look at the fucking disparity, Liam. And he'll probably bring up the success he's had with his comics. Dude, I haven't published a comic of my own in 2 years. No, closer to 3 now. I haven't put anything new out there. You've had one book, Dino King. And you had success. And you should thank Ethan Van Sciver for it because he gave it to you on a silver platter. Because this is the reality of you, Liam. Without someone propping you up, you're fucked. You are absolutely, positively fucked. I propped you up with Xenotype, you made 6 figures Australian. EVS propped you up with Dino King, you made like, what, 70k Australian? So when it comes right down to it, your most successful campaigns are either because of me or because of EVS. You know? And by the way, you're also at a point where none of your former artists even want to fucking work with you anymore. Dudes that I worked with years ago still contact me wondering if I'm up to anything. I just talked to Preston Acevedo today and asked him, because I'm gonna be taking off the pencils down order on 3 nights soon. Getting book 2 done. Preston's down. We're gonna finish that. And if you see the art behind me, this gorgeousness, you know, we're gonna be doing more of it. And I hope to work with Preston as long as he keeps drawing. Because that dude's fucking phenomenal. But I'm working with Armand on Inglewood stuff. I'm working with Armand also on the mecha comic that I'm doing. For those of you who in chat who don't know, I'm working on my own mecha. I've got my own thing. Once I finish the script, I'm going to throw it to the Library of Congress. We're going to get the trademark done and taken care of. And when it comes right down to it, I'm going to be back on that, and what success I have will be my own. You know? Nothing against the people that have helped me in the past, but I like being able to build my own stuff. Because at the end of the day, what a man should want is to be self-made. Every time that Liam has tried to do it on his own, he falls flat on his face. Because he's a Sperg. He's not a talented person. Got no discipline. Doesn't need all the other things that... Like, he's a pretty good writer. I'll give him that credit. He's fairly creative. But you need other elements to bring things together. And I ain't the only one who said this. Billy Tucci said it, Art Tiberis said it, other people have said it too. You know? And they're right about you. They're all right about you, Liam. Every single one of them. And I've been right about you this whole fucking time. Stop bringing me up. Move on with your life. I moved on from you. Goodness gracious. Democracy Officer Chase says, wait, Micah, what kind of kangaroo did he allegedly break the neck of? If it was a red kangi, that's impossible. The lesser species are much easier to kill. I don't know, dude. This guy's a pathological fucking liar. He's probably got a story that he's told where he fought off with 100 dingoes with only a knife in me teeth. You know? Or some bullshit like that. Sounds like he's made no effort to change, basically. He never has. He's never made an effort to do anything. He's never made an effort to improve himself or anything like that. He looks to glom on to the biggest name that he can. He glommed onto me, and even while he glommed onto me, he was still wanting to glom onto Ethan too. Then he finally did glom onto Ethan. Ethan, you know, probably thought that he could help Liam redeem himself. In which case, you know, Ethan probably already knows my opinion that was never going to work. But you know, he tried, you know, credit to him, but it didn't work. You know, Liam ended up fucking up and doing some stuff that, man, I cannot blame Liam for going, all right, fuck this guy. You know? Brain says in the chat, Liam is the Aussie version of Mark Waid. He's such a vile person and can't help but fuck with other people. It's sad because at least he has some talent in making stories. Yeah, pretty much. You know, it's one of those things where it's like, what the fuck are you doing? Like, I have not spoken about Liam in a long time. Like, when did I do that sad story of Liam Gray video? It's been a hot minute, right? Let's have a look. Because I think I did some streams after this vid. But it's been a minute. Like, look at all this content that I've done since that time. Like, let's look at this. Look at all this stuff that I've done since then. You know, like, got the podcast started, got new videos going up, ones that have been very successful. Gundam Epion video did 206,000 views. Devil Gundam is just a shade under 100K. Wing Zero's Horrifying is getting closer to 500,000. It'll probably hit 500,000 sometime this year. Like, the Unicorn Gundam, this Horrifying video did really well. Like, all these are doing pretty decent. Like, the ones that kind of struggled were, like, the Carcharodons and the one about Gundam Wing's 30th anniversary. But, like, things just constantly were going, like, you just go up and up and up. And, yeah, we hit 20K, and we still haven't gotten to Leam being Leam. There's the 1 Year War videos. God, I've dealt with fucking the white woman sooner than I've really dealt with Liam. Yeah, here it is. The sad story of Liam Gay. 3 fucking years ago. Liam, you have been bitching about me on YouTube, on fucking streams for 3 goddamn years. The fuck? How? What the hell, man? I don't get this shit. Like, why can't people just act like adults? Why not? I don't get it. You did mention Epion was originally meant for Trace, so I want to ask, how much of a monster would it be if Trace got to pilot it? I don't know. Honestly. Because I don't know how the system would react to him. Spamram Goat says, Lamenter Chads rise up. Hell yeah. Lamenter's episode soon, by the way. We're doing the lore primer for Gundam this week. Lore primer for 40K is next week. And then after that, we're doing another Gundam one, and then we're doing Lamenters. So sometime next month, I will be the Lamenters episode. I'm really looking forward to that one. The sad thing about the Lamenters is that none of their stuff is in a book. A lot of it is in Imperial Armor, which I'm going to have to look up to kind of read the specifics on. Because I don't want to just copy off the fucking wiki, you know? I want to read the source material. I think through my Warhammer Plus subscription, I can access Imperial Armor from the Bad Ab War. In which case, I'm going to read through that and discuss it. Because, like, most of what I have read of the Bad Ab War has been through, like, third-hand sources. I want to read through it because I know other stuff is going to come up. Like, at some point, I'm going to do more stuff about the Carcharodons. They were very involved in the Bad Ab War. Because all their books are before Bad Ab, except for the most recent one, which is during the Era Indominus. So, but yeah, I'm really looking forward to doing more Lamenter stuff. I would do an army of them, but they don't really have any, like, official stuff. So I would have to buy some stamps or something to properly do it, because painting that fucking crosshatch or the checkerboard would be a fucking nightmare. Do I play Space Marine 2? Oh yeah. I have how many hours? AJ the Groundhog for $5. Wing Zero's Horrifying is my favorite vid. Imagine Coop from Megas XLR got his hands on it. Probably switched Zero's head with a Chimera ZL1. Probably. As if he didn't do enough damage to the DMV. Imagine if he got his hands on Wing Zero. Which, by the way, I just want to say this. There is not a single more realistic reaction to the DMV in any sort of fiction like that's superior to Megas XLR. That is basically how everybody feels about it. Fuck the DMV. So, you said you're doing a Barbatos' horrifying video. I'm waiting for that. Dude, that one's gonna be good. It's gonna be more so about Iron-Blooded Orphans, but yeah, the Barbatos is gonna feature very heavily in it. Because what's gonna happen is I'm gonna talk about the setting. Then there's gonna be a section specifically about the Alea Vignana system. Then there's gonna be a section about the Barbatos at the end. So, though I thought about doing just one called The Gundam Barbatos is Horrifying, but right now the plan is to do one on IBO as a setting. Though, what do you guys think? Do you guys think that Barbatos should have its own video? You think I should separate the two? I'm curious. But yeah, somebody asked about Space Marine 2. I have 918 hours in it. I have every single class in the co-op prestiged. It is the game that if I have nothing else to play, I will play that. Because it has one of the most fun gameplay loops I have played in a very long time. Must really suck to live in the post-disaster timeline, wouldn't it? Yeah, it's probably the shittiest timeline of all of them, to be honest with you. AJ throws in $2, says Barbatos is a wingman. Yeah, he kind of is, isn't he? Which Barbatos are we talking about? The one that we see in the show. Not the four-hooved one from Build Divers. I don't watch any of the Build series, so I'm not familiar with like what goes on in that. People are saying do its own video. Yeah, I guess I might. I don't know. We'll see how I feel when I get there. This is gonna sound so weird. A lot of the times, though, like I do some of this stuff on vibes. Like, what am I feeling from the audience if I read comments or things like that? You know, what are people asking for? You know, what are people demanding? You know, and is it a sentiment that is echoed by a lot of people, or is it a sentiment that is echoed by very few? You know, like these sorts of things give me the mental data that I need to give an idea of like what I'm doing next with my videos. Like the next one that I'm doing is just all of the colony drops within Gundam, like going over each and every one of them and making a very dark subject as goofy as I can, just for the reason of being trying to make it entertaining, you know, because it's very dark subject matter. So it includes Rex and the Rex Lupus. Oh yeah. It would be all three. Because they're all the same suit. It's just different armaments, really. Well, the Lupus and the Lupus Rex have some modifications to the arms, I think. I'd have to look at their skeletal systems again. But, like, the Lupus and the Lupus Rex obviously look more wolf-like. But that's actually, like, there's kind of a meta-narrative that goes with the Barbatos, and it is exactly that. Colony drop on the first date. AJ, it's funny you bring that up. Bear with me for just a second, guys. I will be right back. Be right back. Can't find it. What I did with it. But anyway. For those who don't know, we have merch. Is there a lore reason why Judo was noticeably absent in Char's counterattack? Yeah, he's going out towards Jupiter during that time period. But we have merch. For those of you who are members, you've seen the podcast. And many of you are familiar with a certain shirt that Shirt Dude wears. It is now available on the merch store. So, if you have not picked it up, it comes in black with white text as well. Do not hesitate to do so. And yeah. The link, it should be in the description, but I'm also going to put it in the chat as well. And if you actually get caught up on the shirts that we do have, which we have 3 of them, and you put in the code get some merch, then all one word, you get free shipping on all 3 of those shirts. So, and they're very comfortable. They're Gildan cotton shirts, kind of like this one I'm wearing. They wear pretty medium. They're not like super heavy fabric. So they're really nice, very comfortable stuff. So yeah, I can't find my sample shirt. Is it over here? I got some shirts laying here. My office is very disorganized. I have to do laundry as well. And admittedly, sometimes if I get hot when I'm in here, I will just whip my shirt off. That's my Demon Hunter shirt. Oh, my At the Age shirt. Oh! What about this? By the way, yeah, this is the reason I can't criticize EVS for being late on stuff. These are from the reprint of book 1. These were actually extra copies sent to me by Mixum. That weren't supposed to be sent. So, I don't know what I'm gonna do with them. I might make a certain number available on the next campaign, because we will I'm very proud of this book. We will probably be putting up book 3 here in the next year. I just have to check with my old penciler, get him filled in on what we're doing, and then pay for some pages and covers. That's about it. About like a $500 investment, but still. Well, more than that, right close to $1,000. So, when is Inglewood getting shipped out from the last fulfillment? Once Cyberpop is finished fulfilling, we'll be fulfilling Inglewood. I didn't want to overburden my fulfillment guy. I was willing to wait a bit. So, we'll be doing that. But I've got some work to get through. But Inglewood stuff will be going on in the background. What I'm primarily going to focus on is Green Knights Part 2. Why is it? Okay. Which, here you can see the fucking fantastic art of Preston Acevedo. But for those unfamiliar, this book is my dark fantasy comic. And it is very dark, very fucked up. But the art is incredibly detailed. Preston is one of my favorite artists I've ever worked with. But this is the one, for those of you who are fans of Berserk, will enjoy. God, I fucking love this artwork. We might have to someday do a black and white edition. But if you want to back that, link is in the description. And we are going to be resuming work on it this year. Because basically what we're doing is we're fulfilling a novella that I wrote called American Monsters. We're fulfilling Inglewood Book 2, which is the last Inglewood comic I wrote. Then we're going to start production on Three Nights again. And then on top of that, start production on other books in behind the scenes. So. And everybody's talking about GRINDSTONE for some reason. I have no idea what the fuck happened. Did the audio cut out? Why is everybody talking about GRINDSTONE? I'm very confused. Do you guys not want me talking about comic books? Like I'm very passionate about the things that I write. So if that bothers you, I'm sorry to disappoint, but like this is something that, you know, I work very hard on. You know. So well, right. I know what GRINDSTONE is, guys. I'm curious as to why, when we're talking about comic books I'm working on, that everybody's talking about something else. Like, what the fuck happened? Like, why? How did you guys get distracted? Like, what happened? Like, I feel like it's like, have all of you become the dog from Up? Squirrel! You know? Like, what the fuck? This was happening when I was off screen. I'm very confused. Still. This is background noise while I work on a Misfortune of Your Birth edit. One thing that I actually had to do when I got up was I had to turn off the chili in my kitchen. But anyway. Oh, one chat member was passionately just showing his dislike of GRINDSTONE. Everyone else followed suit. Jesus. Fair enough. Whatever happened to the Lucifer comic you were planning? You guys want to see some more art? I got art to show off. Yeah, knowing the BS you had to deal with when it came to those funds. Ooh, yeah, it's been a rough couple of years, to say the least. But I'll show you guys some art. It's old stuff, but I haven't shown. Some of you are new, so it's be cool to show off. So I have a Dracula comic, believe it or not. So for those of you who enjoy Helsing, this might be up your alley. We're bringing up NTR, Trey's cucked OG Troa Barton. No, that was Troa's sister. That was the original Troa's sister, not his significant other. So, but anyway, I have a Dracula book that I gotta talk to the artist that was originally working with me on this. I don't know what he's up to. But this I want to get done because I really enjoy writing dark fantasy and horror stories. So, but yeah, it's called The First Servant. It's about the first person that Dracula ever turns into a vampire. Obviously it's fictionalized. It's a very different take on Bram Stoker. Because it's not even about the story in Bram Stoker's book. It's a prequel to it. This one takes... I'm working with an artist on this who is also a big fan of Go Nagai. So there's... If you look in the back, like, with the demon designs, there's obviously some big-time Devilman influence. But the basic idea is what happens when someone who was a loyal soldier to Dracula during the wars against the Turks, you know, the wars of the Ottoman Empire, what if Dracula turned him into a vampire against his will? And, well, Fizz, you are in the wrong place. There's a question on how Dracula became a vampire. It's in the book. It is in there. It'd be really weird if I didn't touch on it. But, it is going to be a very dark story. If this art wasn't enough of a indication. We very loosely are basing the design, some of the designs on the 90s film of Dracula, the one with Keanu Reeves. Which Keanu Reeves does not do very good in that movie. But Gary Oldman as Dracula, fucking excellent. He's so good. But yeah, as you can see, very fucked up. He's stepping on the corpse of a child there. But yeah, the promo art, a lot of this, to put it on Indiegogo, we are going to have to heavily censor. Because this is, like, I have a friend of mine whose nickname is Tofu, who's read all of my stuff. He read the script to this, and he was like, dude, this is one of the darkest things I've ever read. He's like, it's very emotional, and it's very good, but it's very dark. So, but yeah, I was channeling a lot of Go Nagai, Kentaro Miura when I was writing this, and obviously, you know, the creator of Dracula. So, interesting fact about Vlad the Impaler, he was a Christian in real life. Oh yeah, he's a folk hero in Romania. Funnily enough, the guy that I want to work with for this book is Romanian. Like, he flat out told me they're in Romania, Vlad's a hero. Like, he's considered a big deal. But this is Grigori Lupu, who has a very obvious name. Um, his whole thing is wolves. Um, as you can see by the emblem on his armor. The armor was custom made for him by Vlad. He was one of his top generals, and he was also known as being a man who led from the front. And the fact that he actually uses two swords is supposed to be sort of like the fangs of a wolf. So that was sort of like how I imagined him, when I was writing him. He is based physically on Brad Pitt around the time of when he did the movie Seven. And he's a very emotional character. Yeah, Vlad's last name means son of the dragon. Yeah, and he's sort of a parallel to that, So this guy's basically he's based on a wolf. So, but he is the main character. I really liked that Bogdan did this sketch. That's very. I think Resident Evil 8 had been announced when we started working on this. Something like that. So he did this as sort of like a little homage because he's a Resident Evil fan too. But yes, Satan is a character in the book. Considering how much you like Well Done Grimdark, what are your thoughts on the game Fear and Hunger? I have not played it. I own both of them. But the devil is a character in the book. I based him looks-wise on Ralph Fiennes around the time of the film The English Patient. Because for those who don't know, Ralph Fiennes, before he became Voldemort, and was also in Red Dragon and a bunch of other films, before he lost his hair, was quite the looker. Granted, all of us when we were younger were quite the looker, So, but yeah, he we based him on that because I figured if there was ever another actor to play Satan that would be perfect for it. Obviously, Tim Curry is number one, but he already did in the movie Legend. The second would be Ralph Fiennes. What are my thoughts on the current direction of Berserk? I'm digging it. I love Berserk. I have no complaints. I know some people didn't like the direction things have gone on since the Fantasia arc. I'm perfectly fine with it. Because at some point, the good guys are going to start winning, and then the tone is going to start to change. But it's starting to go dark again. Or darker, So I'm really curious as to how it's all going to end. I think they're at a point where they're getting ready to wrap it up. And I'm very, very, very happy that they decided to continue it. Koji Mori obviously wants to do his friend's masterpiece justice. And had I, if I was in a similar situation and someone like Hatman, my editor, was doing stuff, then if I died, I would want him to take over and make sure that my stuff gets finished, At the end of the day, as an artist, you care about your audience. You should always want to take care of them as best you can. But yeah, the devil in this is... I wanted to make sure that he was handsome. I wanted him to be someone that when you look at him, you're like, that's a handsome fella. Because Lucifer was supposed to be the most beautiful of God's angels. So it was very important that I used something like that. But there's something twisted and off to him. And the one thing that I enjoy about doing with him is everything there that he says or does has a caveat to it. There's always a hidden agenda. Because that's how the devil works. It's never direct. It's always indirect. It's always trying to weasel you into a situation that makes things worse. So it is it's a book that I'm very, very happy about, because a lot of it is, if there's a theme to it, it's abuse. Not to be like huffing my own farts or anything like that, but I wanted to do a book about what it is that, you know, like gaslighting and not when you don't take care of the people you care about, when you do terrible things to them, like what the results are and how you can effectively make new monsters. And that is a big theme behind it. I'm very proud of the script, and I'm really looking forward to seeing it. Like, there's actually a few pages like done for it, but I don't have the high res files, I don't think. Let me check. I don't. So, the artist still has them. So. But yeah, that's the vampire book that I've got on the back burner. Along with everything else I have on the back burner. But yeah. So, we're moving along, man. We're getting two things fulfilled this year. I've already started fulfillment on the novella, because I have the money to do it, and I could just have the printer just ship it straight to whoever, but I'm getting a test print of the book itself. Speaking of which, I should check my email real quick to see whether or not they have mailed it yet. Don't know if that's something I want to do. Doesn't say. Let me check the printer's website. They might not have sent out an email yet. Bear with me for just a second. Because there also might be, there's that one. Oh, okay. So, they have not sent me the book. But, to Servant and Gunny, if you're both in chat, your posters have been mailed. I'm gonna check your tracking real quick. Don't worry, people won't be able to see what's going on. They have just created the labels, so I'm gonna go ahead and send these to you through Indiegogo. I'm gonna do this while we're actually doing this. See, guys, this is what I mean by taking care of my audience. Like, I will do it on live stream to make sure that I can update you on your fucking orders. So, give me just a second. Because we only had 2 people who ordered the 18 by 24s. So this one is Servant. Why is it not saying... But I'm trying to figure out which parcel number is which. Not saying. Either way, I'll update that later. But I've got them. I'm just trying to figure out which tracking number is going to who. So, but I will get that updated through the Indiegogo process. I've got your orders set and ready to go. So, can I order a beer and ship it overnight? Oh goodness. But yeah, that's enough for ranting about Spergs for one night, I think. So, for those of you out there, behave yourselves. Obviously, I don't endorse anybody fucking with anybody. That goes without saying. Do not do it. But, again, don't start talking nonsense if you don't really want daddy's attention. Because when you get it, you might not like what happens. So, on that note, I'm going to take off. It is 9 o'clock at night. I have got some stuff to do before I go to bed. So, I'm going to go do that. I'm going to go eat some dinner. And a very late dinner. and yeah, I will get those tracking numbers set for everybody and everything like that. So, everybody, just do me a favor. Have yourselves a great night. I'll see you next time. Should be back on Friday, but no promises.